everyone. Welcome to Smart Black Woman TV. I'm Vernita Williams, your host. We
I'm
also have
Charles.
Charles. Charles is in the house. What's going on, Charles? How was your day?
What's up? What's up? I had a good day. I didn't do much, I started my day off with my exercise as usual. I'm down 7 pounds, I'm proud of myself for that.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah. And so I have a goal. I set a
Congratulations.
goal today. I decided to set a goal for myself. So for this Friday, I plan to get down to, I'm going to tell my weight, 197. I think I should be able to get to 197 by the end of the week.
Uh,
I'm at 199, 200 pounds, pretty much just about. So that's my goal. But overall, I had a good day. What about you?
Awesome. I had a pretty good day myself. I went in to work, and of course, just as it always is, work. Off now. This is the best time of my day, and today is really an exciting day for me. We're here on Smart Black Woman TV, here to talk about a few things that are going on just around us. So we hopefully a lot of you tuned in to watch us. You can comment, like, and share our videos. We would like to
Get
hear
your
and
popcorn.
see
Get your
and have
popcorn.
many other fans that may follow Smart Black Woman TV. So come on, join us. And today, our first segment is we're just gonna talk about people. You know, people, and speaking about people, we're talking about just your everyday people that you walk around, strangers, family, friends, parents. These are some of the things we talk about and we live around every day. So we're trying to be a little bit more open, having our outdoors a little bit, having a little bit more fun, communicating with everyone. So hopefully you're here to join us. So today we're going to talk about when you're talking to you when you're a confident person. I feel that I'm a very confident person. I like to dance. I like to get in the middle of the floor and dance. I can dance alone. That's how confident I am about myself. But one thing about being confident, people do not like confident people. If you're too
Mm.
confident, people seem as though they get angry or attitudes, like she ain't all that or he ain't all that. What's up with that, Charles? Do you experience that too?
That is a good question because I've experienced that my entire life. And it's so funny because I didn't think I was better than anyone. Never did. I was kind of like the guy that didn't know that the diamond in the rough. I was that diamond in the rough and didn't realize that I was a diamond until I grew up. But I've definitely experienced that a whole lot. And I think it's society. Society always tries to tell us to be humble and
Yeah.
people like words conceited and things like that. People like to say that you're conceited because you look in the mirror and you say, "Oh, I look good." But I feel like if you don't tell yourself, then who else is going to tell you? That's just how I
Right.
feel about it.
Exactly. And everybody, you have to be confident in yourself. You have bad times or feeling that way, be a little bit more confident about yourself. You can get over a lot of things being confident.
Mom, don't
You
say a
know,
little bit. Don't say a little bit more confident. Be overly confident about yourself. I think it's
overly,
okay.
I'm overly confident to myself. And just I pride myself in my looks and everything. My shoes, my clothes. The way I walk, the way I talk. All those things to me. It builds my confidence within myself. So, and I like to share it with people, especially with the demeanor I have and the communication I have. I like to make people laugh. I have a lot of humor going on, and that's just me. And if you just don't like a person that's confident, you're not gonna like me at all. But
Right.
hopefully this can be something that can change and you can think a little bit different about, because we got too many angry people walking around. So I think people that are angry all the time, I don't think they have much confidence. Yeah, I guess confidence goes in both ways though. Yeah. So
It's
what
a
you think,
happy
Charles?
medium. I think it's a happy medium with that, Mom. Somebody once told me that when someone says, "Oh, you think you look good," and it truly means that no, that person thinks that you look good. And I like to try to normalize giving compliments. And it's okay if you see someone with a beautiful spirit, tell them you have a beautiful spirit, you have a beautiful aura about yourself. If you see someone with nice shoes on, I love those shoes. Where do you get them? Get them. You know, and I think it's okay to do that. We should start normalizing, complimenting others, and lifting people, lifting one another up, versus trying to break one another down and discount the next person.
Right, I think so too. And one thing I don't like that I hear people say is she or he think he's better than me, or they think they're better than us. That's something that it goes without saying. Why would you say something like that? You think you're better than me? Why is it a feeling that people have within themselves? That they're looking at you as though you're just a little bit more than them. Why make those type of statements? What do you think, Charles, about people making those type of statements?
Well, mom, honestly, you raised me to be an entrepreneur, sales driven, motivated to be successful in my life. And I think when you have that mindset, that type of mindset of success and wanting to accomplish whatever goals, I think people get that mixed up with, oh, they think that they're better. But when I walk out, I brand myself. I look at myself like I'm a brand. So if I'm walking out looking, feeling bad about myself, saying, oh, I'm ugly, oh, I look X, Y, and Z. If you say bad things about yourself, you won't have a positive outcome from it. So if you say good things about yourself, you're gonna have a good outcome. So I believe in that. And back to branding. If I want to brand myself as a positive motivation, or I just know that when it comes down to it, if I'm looking to someone for advice or someone to be successful, you kind of look at their appearance first. And I think it's a normal thing. I'm only human. You kind of look at them and try to pick up on as much as you can based on what you see. I know you can't judge a book by its cover. I definitely live by that, but you kind of I think people base you off of how you look at first, and I try to look as best as I can, no matter if I'm going to the grocery store. I got that from my big mama, and it's not gonna change, flat out.
Yes, because she's gonna tell you if your shirt wrinkled.
She sure will. She'll tell me to take it off.
Oh, it's dingy. Take that dingy shirt off, and she will buy you a new one.
Right, exactly. You need something? You need something? Is there something you need? Help,
And then, when you go through dealing with people, we're just on this subject about people and dealing with them and communicating with them. When a person disrespects you and you clap back, you're only clapping back because you're defending yourself. What do you think about people that tend to, disrespect you and then get mad because you will not let them disrespect you? So what do you think about that type of person?
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be open. I'm not going to be an open book, but I'll be transparent about this one. I've allowed people to kind of step over that gray line or that boundary in my past. There was a point of time when I didn't have as much confidence about myself, and I didn't think that, hey, that only God was in control. I thought that people were in control, and what they thought of me was everything. So I didn't stand for nothing. I feel like if you don't stand up for something, then you stand for nothing. You got to stand up for something when you're just living life. And I allowed people to get over on me, and not necessarily a pushover. I wouldn't say that, but I allowed people to mistreat me and treat me ways that wasn't okay with me, myself. And when you allow people to do that, they get used to that, and they feel as though, I think that they get used to, I guess, taking advantage of you or mistreating you. I think, and that's just a guess. based on my experience.
Yeah, and sometimes they get in that anger moment, and it seems as though that this is a person you were communicating with, and didn't want that relationship to be that way, or that communication to go in that direction. But yet, you try to let people know in a calmly way. Sometimes you got to go dead with the disrespect. You got to have kind of sing songs kind of to people, because people are so sensitive now, because now that when you get into a conversation with a person and you want to come at them, the way they came at you. So the snap back is what I call it. That snap back is can be
I don't
like
think
a
you
rubber
know.
band. You pull a rubber band so far and let it go and let it pop the shit out of you. That's pretty
It's
much
gonna
what you gotta
snap your
do some
ass back.
people.
You're right.
You gotta do some people like that, but it's
I
very
don't think,
uncomfortable
I don't think you
because you
even
don't
have
want to
to
be in
do it.
those type of communications with people. You just want to have fun, and
And
especially
I
if
try
you're a
not to
confident
snap
person.
back. And I try not to snap back. If I've ever been in a situation where a person felt as
Yeah,
though I snapped back on their ass, trust
yeah,
me, I didn't intentionally snap back, because I always have the most. I try to have a. I don't try. It's just who I am. I'm
yeah,
normally, when people are being shady towards me, I won't even know. I
yeah.
won't notice it. It goes over my head, and some can say, "Oh, he's naive," or "Is he slow?" No, it's just because that frequency that you live on, I don't even. I've never been there. I've never been there. So I don't necessarily get the shade. That's what I call it shade. And so whenever someone gives me shade, I try to turn it around and put a positive spin on it. And in the past, I tried to clear it up, but going forward now, I just let whoever think whatever. And that's what I see online. I love that saying, whoever can think whatever. I don't have time to necessarily clear up anything.
Yeah, you just you're out of your control, and that's when you're getting more
Right.
mature. That's when you're maturing more, and you just let things go because you know the truth at that point, and you believe in who you are, and you understand, that you're confident in yourself and the communication that you have. And at that point, when you come to the point where you overlook a lot of things that people say, you're getting to be a little bit more humbled. You're humbling yourself in life, and that's something that's really good too. Sometimes, when I do have to feel that I have to kind of put a person at a halt when they go too far with me. I'll let them get there, but I'm coming back. I'm not a person that just let it go. I kind of shelve it. I just put it on the shelf, and I know I always get my chance to come back. And when you come back to a person later on, so what I always say to you is, it's not to good argue with people when they're angry.
Mm.
And I said, step back. Sometimes you have to give people space. I've always told you that. Give them space. Give about 6 months. Give about a year. And you probably was thinking at the time, like, wow, a long time. I don't think I want to be that distance for so long. But sometimes some communications can get so far, start to go so far left, that you have to put space between you and that person or that individual. And that helps a whole lot, because absence and silence, silence kill a lot of things. And when you come back together with reasoning, and you understand more and you're listening more. So, and when you're calm and you're laughing, I tend to try to communicate too when you're laughing. When you're
Right.
laughing, and a person that has gone left with you with some type of communication because you felt you wanted to snap back, but your snap back is on the shelf and it's
Right.
coming, and I'm gonna pull it off the shelf. And when I pull it off the shelf, I'm gonna pull it out when we're laughing and drinking and having fun, just doing something where we all calm and feeling good. And then all of
Right.
a sudden, get that snap back on you. And we laugh about it because you have to understand that a lot of things really ain't worth it. Worth
It's
wasting
not worth it.
time, the
No.
feelings, to go through it. So that's something that, and my positive take on it all is put it on the shelf and just let it sit there. And, sometimes just be quiet. Let people put space between people. If your communication has gone so far left, it's time to put space between you.
That's
Start
right.
with a week. And I mean, some people are so close that they can't be apart or not hear from a person for a whole month. Put a week between you. Start in little small increments. That'll help you too. So, that's something that I think about, and I thought I'd bring it out here to Smart Black Woman TV so that we can discuss. And also, if anyone have any comments, please comment, like, and share our videos.
Like,
We like
share,
hearing from you,
comment.
comments, and what you think about. You think about all of this. You have comments too. You have people you communicate with. Share
Yeah,
them
and
with
we
us.
want to hear
And
what
also,
y'all think too. And we want to respond back and forth with y'all. We want to be interactive
yes.
with everyone. So please comment, like, share, all of that.
Yes, please do. So, and also, I just want to go over into something else that I thought about, and it's dealing with parents. I'm a parent, and just me myself being a parent of my children, Charles, Gregory, Najanzi, Brian. My conversations are, with them as they grow up. Talk to them. You try to learn. You have to learn. I'm going to say it like that as a parent. You have to learn to listen to your children. You have to give your children what you understand, that you sent them off to get education. You sent them off for understanding. You've raised them. You taught them many things. You have so many communications with them. So therefore, it's good not to be that parent that's always disrespecting your children. Children have feelings. They can go, when it's a parent, and especially when it's a parent being disrespectful to a child, those children are angry. And
Mm.
have a little bit more empathy for your children, because they're yours. They're a mirror of you. And I'm just sharing with a lot of people that disrespecting your child just because you're a parent, I don't feel it's fair. It's fair to your children, and they have things to say too. The children are learning so much more now on this internet, social media. They learn so much. Some of them know a whole lot more than you.
Right.
Allow them, give them that credit. Listen to them when they have ideas and things like that. Some of
I
these
think,
kids are finishing college and are rich, you know?
and I think when a child does something or acts out, I think that they're trying to get someone's attention mainly. And a lot of kids suffer from that, not necessarily getting the attention that's needed. And especially with the single parent households, you only have one parent there, and if you have multiple children, it's almost impossible to be able to kind of tend to that child if only a woman can do it. Honestly, I've seen men and women do it, but it's hard. It's really hard, and somebody is going to lack in some area. So I get it, and it's understandable. So you don't want to necessarily be angry at that situation, but I think when a parent, or if I'm out in the store at Walmart necessarily, I hear a parent cussing out a child, and it's like that little bitty kid don't even know any of those curse words, first of all. But I'm sure that child soon will know those curse words. And then the parent will be upset because the child's using the curse words, but you're
Yeah.
using that. So I think you got to be mindful of what you put out into the world. Because if you think that what you put out, you're not going to get back, you have another thing coming.
Coming back. It's
It's
coming.
coming right back to slap you in the face.
Yes. Yes. And that's great. That's just a good conversation to bring to Smart Black Woman TV. We need to kind of start thinking about our lives and our children and whom they're going to school with and they're communicating with, because now they're going back to school after the pandemic. So being in school, you don't know what these kids, the peers, they're dealing with their peers. So that alone is a lot of pressure for them. Changing schools, going back to school after the pandemic. Everyone's acting like a germaphobe. So many different things that are going on. And COVID started a lot. COVID has opened a lot of eyes to a lot of things. A lot of children have been housed and staying in the house with their parents. Some parents that are stay-at-home, parents, they're there all day with their children. What type of communications have they had? What type of communications do you have with your children? Or how do you speak to your boys and girls? Are they comfortable? Are they happy children? Are they only happy because you bought new shoes or new clothes? What about outside of that? When they're dirty? What about when they they dirty up those new clothes and new shoes? I know my boys couldn't keep a pair of shoes for 2 days. It looked like they had it for 5 years right after I buy them. So, are you keeping calm about that? So those
and
are
you know
things.
what?
We grew up, grow around. Yes, Charles.
And I was going to use that to kind of transition to a subject that I wanted to bring up. We didn't necessarily get a chance to talk about it before the show, but I wanted to talk about a guy that was sentenced to 27 years for exploiting a child in Alabama. And I've noticed that a lot of this has been occurring, even in my city, St. Louis. There's been a lot of child exploitation going on. And what they have been doing is they'll send a picture of someone else, a younger person, and to your child on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and they'll trick the kid to sending a picture revealing themselves, and they will tell the child, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, I will show this to your parents. And most kids are like, oh, I don't want my parents to know what I'm doing. I was that child once before, and they have a name for it. It's called sextortion. And these people are sextorting these kids and having them do all kinds of stuff, take money from their parents, all kinds of things that are occurring in the world, So I just wanted to bring that up and bring awareness to that, because a lot of it is going on, and it's going on in our own neighborhood, our own communities, more than we think. And I think it starts with us. It starts with one person. If you want to see a change in anything, it's as simple as speaking up and bringing awareness to it, a subject. And but yeah, I wanted to cut you off and tell everyone about that. So we're kind of on the lookout for that.
Yes, and that's very important that every parent look out for your children, especially when they have these cell phones. I have little cousins only 5 years old. He have a cell phone. He's on TikTok all day, every day. He's on TikTok.
Right.
He don't have a one follower because a few followers now. I think now he's probably gotten up to about 30.
Right, and he's 5. Come on now,
active.
30 adults following him. Come on now.
Exactly. So you have to be that internet police to them. Making sure that they are okay, they're communicating, and you got to take those phones and look at their friends and what their conversations are about. You can't just let the child just go unheard of and not check on them just because they have a phone. They don't have privacy with phones. So what are you parents doing about that, to protect your children from these exploitation situations that they can fall into, and people are sending them pictures of little kids that are their age, but it's them, talking, sending them little girls, to sending a little boy, a little girl, you want to be my boyfriend, but it's a grown man or a grown woman talking to your child,
right?
And then they're luring them in these areas right there at their house. Where do you live? They have them taking pictures of their homes and things like that. These kids are doing so many things now. So you have to be you have to make sure they're safe. Parents have to look after their children. Another thing I want to bring up that's going on right now. So many children are dying by these swimming pools and in these hot cars. we have to do much better with looking in people's cars, that keys aren't in there. You got to listen. Turn your phone, take your earplugs out when you're going in the parking lots. If you're in the parking lot, take your earplugs out and listen. If you hear a child screaming, follow the screams. And let's try to help to prevent some of these unforeseen occurrences that's going on with the children in the hot cars and children left by swimming pools. If you're by a swimming pool, you're having parties, you're out drinking. You got to be careful when you have children. Sorry, I'm drinking. You can't go to the pool.
Mom, today I saw a car in the parking lot, and there was a dog. It was running. No one was in the car, but a dog was in there, and they had a tablet in the window that said that the car is running, the AC is on, and the inside temperature inside the car is 68 degrees. So it's crazy that we actually were moving to a time like that where we actually have to do something like that. But it's funny that you brought that up because I saw that today.
Wow. Yeah, because you're gonna, now, it happens so frequently. We have to start to listen. We have to try to help. If we're walking through parking lots and we hear a child crying, we have to follow the cry, just to make sure, there's someone with the child that's just crying because they want something. Or you look over into the car and there's a child that's screaming and sweating because they're so hot. They're over 100 degrees in temperatures in some of these vehicles, especially now, being that the weather is so hot, right. So you can imagine how hot it is in the car. And people have to understand, these cars shut off today. If you got your child in the car thinking they're getting air, and the car automatically shuts off because you're not responding to it.
And some things I think we shouldn't even have to say. Some things people shouldn't even have to say or tell you about your own child. It's so funny. There's so much going on in the world. I feel like you shouldn't have to tell an adult, don't leave your kid in a 80 degrees car, when you go in the store.
It can happen, though. It really can happen. Thankfully it was winter, and I went to work and you were in the car. I didn't get out and go in the office. As I reached back to close the door, I looked in the back seat and you were in your pumpkin seat. So I'm not faulting any parent for forgetting, but try to be more vigilant when you're in parking lots and look over into these cars to make sure, just listen. Take your earplugs out your ear. Everybody has these earplugs. They got an earplug in both ears. So when I see people that have them in both ears, I tend to just wear one just in one ear, but I see a lot of people with them in both ears. Take one out so that you can hear, because we're going to have to help to try to help these children stay alive and not die because they're in a hot car. That's kind of crazy, but it happens. I understand that.
I say we don't even try. I say just don't even do it. If my opinion, just don't do it, and don't make somebody else have to try to take care of your children. Please don't. Just don't do it.
The kids in the car. All right, that will take care of it too. Just
right.
But if you have to.
So, Mom, we're gonna do another one of yours, or do you need to fill us off? How would you say?
Yeah, stay in the car. I'll be right back. Yeah.
Mom,
so we're gonna go on a short break, since and we'll come back with you and talk to everyone. Just stay tuned. Smart Black Woman TV with Vernita Williams and Charles Cummings. We'll be right back.
up. Don't get used as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up.
Welcome back, Smart Black Woman
What up,
TV. Thanks a lot for coming back and joining us. Charles and I, we try to have these communications with everybody. We want to communicate and continue to. This is our outside. Now, we're outdoors, what they used to call it, right? We're outdoors. Everybody, you could come on outside with us because we're going to have fun. We're out to have fun. Okay, Charles, we were talking about some cards, some cards we pulled, and there was some conversations in the cards. But before we start the cards, I want to talk about this one conversation. I know you heard about it. You may have. I'm sure you have. The Brat and Lisa Ray. Have you heard about that one?
No, I haven't. I know that they're sisters.
They're sisters. So the conversation that's going on right now with the Brat and Lisa Ray, they're sisters. And Lisa Ray tends to be a very open person. So she just lets it all out. As when the Brat, she's more of a humble person, and she don't like her business, spread it all around. So
she's like an introvert,
in confidence. And Lisa Ray right now is not doing that for her when her sister is asking her not to expose her on the internet. What do you think about that?
Well, expose her in what sense? What is she?
Well, just what she's going through. Everything in her life right now. That the Brat has going on in her life. And Lisa Ray wants to, she's exposing her sister. Regardless of what it may be, in particular, still, just being in social media and telling a person that is a celebrity about her, all of her business, when a lot of celebrities just want to remain silent. They want to be anonymous. They don't want all their business out in the street, what they call it. Some people don't talk, but the Brat is she's very quiet and discreet about
introvert. She's an introvert.
Yes, and I respect her for who she is, and Lisa Ray, and I think she's a little bit more, little too, doing a little bit too much. I'm gonna have to read this, put my glasses on. So let's see. I feel that the whole situation is sad, especially when the person you're asking to not do that to you is someone you love, because you might have to let them go. Yes, and that is Ebony. Left that comment there for.
Hey, Ebony, that's my sister.
And I totally agree. I agree with you too, Ebony. You're absolutely right, because my sister and I, have we're very close. And if I asked her not to do something and she do it anyway, and I have someone that's doing that anyway right now. I won't mention names.
Honestly, if one of my siblings did that to me, how would I feel? Honestly, I think that you have to kind of set your emotions to the side. I think that's the most important part of everything. I try to start my day like that. No matter how you're feeling, no matter what you're going through, you want to kind of put your emotions to the side. Like you said earlier, you don't want to respond in a negative way. You don't want to say things that you don't mean. And even though certain things piss you off, I think it's important that you still kind of keep that cool. I think the first person that raises their voice loses instantly. So it's important to kind of keep your composure and keep it cool. Don't say anything bad. If they're the only ones that did something bad, let it stay that way. But me personally, I think I'm like Brad. I don't address everything. I don't believe that everything is meant to be addressed. It doesn't deserve to be addressed. Certain things, if it's beneath me, and the person if it's my sibling, especially if it's beneath me, my sibling knows that, hey, whatever you're talking about is beneath me. So certain things just don't even deserve to be addressed.
Yes, and we also have a comment for MBN TV. It's the lack of respect for her sister and very immature. And I feel like some people tend to be who they are. You know, Lisa Ray is just who she is. You know, we can't expect everybody to have the same mentality, demeanor, and walk the same walk. Of course, you know, you're going to ask your sister not to do that. Just like, you know, there are times I ask my mom not to do certain things. You do it anyway. You know, why? Because she's a parent and she's doing it. Oh, she's doing it anyway. You know,
Right.
some things, you know, you just don't want a person to do, but yet they'll do it anyway because feel they are adults and they make their own decisions and what they want to do. And the bride has to understand, you know, unfortunately, she don't want her sister to share some things about her, but her sister is doing that. That's who her sister is. I don't try to judge Lisa Ray or just be, you know, just because she did that, because she have so many other successful things going on in her life, and I'm not going to pin her to one thing that she's doing against her sister, because I think, you know, certain people do things that you totally disagree with, but that's just what they do. But there are other sides of people that you find that are beautiful, you know. And Lisa, I mean, the brat probably finds it very disrespectful from her sister. You know, I may have some disagreements with my sister, but I still love my sister, you know, as well as the brat. She still loves her sister, but social media gets involved and they paint a big picture of you, and then, you know, they're not watching your shows anymore. They want to kick you off networks nowadays, just because of certain things that go on. Even with the Will Smith situation, Will Smith still is a great guy, but right now with him slapping Chris, that just took a lot away from him when it shouldn't have, you know, because he had so many other accomplishments. You know,
They got the green light for Bad Boys 4, by the way. They're about to start filming Bad Boys 4, so at the end of the day, it didn't stop Will Smith, you know. So I try not to let certain things, no matter what people say about you, try not to let it get to you, no matter who it is. You got to kind of keep moving forward and being positive. Eventually, that person will either get on the bandwagon or they weren't meant to be there anyway, you know. So
exactly.
And I think, you know, when people say things against anyone, I think it's more so about that person and what they are going through personally. It's not about the next person or what they're saying about you. It's not about you. It's about it's about them. So I try to look at things that way. It gives me a better perspective of a situation. That way I'm not too upset and in my feelings and my emotions. Like, how could they do this to me? It's not personal. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about that person and what they're going through.
Exactly. You know, and people tend to do that quite a lot. You know, you have communication with a person, and because they disagree with something that you may have done or did, they share it with everybody, and then it's this mold that's spread it throughout everyone. And it's sad that it's actually a black mold, because, you know, you 1 minute you think you're the one that's most liked, but because of this conversation you had with one particular person, now you have grown this black mold, you know, in everybody else and their feelings, you know. And people need to start looking at things at face value. What I always say to you, look at life at face value, because there you'll find a lot of answers for yourself and how to deal with it. You know, deal with that person accordingly. If you're getting this out of that person, that's who that person is. Doesn't make you that way. You know, that's just that particular person. That doesn't make you the bad guy, you know, because you're doing, you know, you decided to go about life the way you feel that you agree with. It's just like what Lisa Ray is doing right now. You know, and I'm not taking sides with the brat nor Lisa Ray. And I'm just, you know, bringing this conversation out because we live it with people every day, or about how they feel about certain situations, and it spoils a whole bunch. You know, it's like one bad apple spoils a whole bunch. And unfortunately, people are living lives where the whole bunch is just spoiled, and it's hard to come back. What is the conversation in coming back after the being destroyed? You know, after something that has just fallen apart. What are the families need right now? Families need counseling, just like a person needs therapy. A lot of people say, oh, she needs therapy. No, the whole family needs therapy.
That's right.
It's
That's
not just
right. It
that
really
one,
does. It
the
doesn't fix
whole
anything.
entire family.
It doesn't. It
And
wouldn't fix anything if you and I didn't have a good relationship, and I'm the only one in counseling trying to fix
right.
the relationship. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of counterproductive, you know. Both of
Exactly.
us, both parties would need to go to counseling in order for there to be a good solution or a sound solution to come to surface, you know. So I agree
Exactly.
with that.
Exactly. You have to support one another. You have to make sure that everyone's feeling okay. And Lisa Ray, one thing that I can share with her, just personally, think about your sister's feelings where you really may be damaging, causing some damage. Some things are left unsaid, and it doesn't need to be heard. Everything doesn't need to be exposed. Think about now the mental health, and the comfort in life that you're stripping from your sister. It's more for her to be happy. Let her happiness flow. Don't let any flaws be in it. Be as much as you can be for her happiness, as a part of her happiness. And that's one thing that a lot of people need to start thinking about, especially when it comes to
Or
family members.
learning. Or learning,
This,
not necessarily just think
yes,
about it, but learn how to do. I
yeah,
think a lot of us don't know how to do it. We don't know how to build up
mhm,
the next person, you know. We kind of
exactly.
take our own feelings into account and base everything about our own personal emotions, and we don't necessarily think about how that may make the next person feel. And
Exactly.
what I try to do is I put myself in their shoes, and or even I sit in a situation and I think, how would I feel if someone did that to me? Or how does it make me feel when I really wanted someone to be there for me, but instead they were doing X, Y, and Z? So you got to kind
Mhm,
of try to be what you want from other people. So,
right.
for example, if you want to marry a awesome person in the future, then be that awesome person that you want to marry. Be that awesome person to yourself first, and that's the only way that you can offer that to somebody else.
Exactly. Exactly. And we're just trying to help to combat some of these bad feelings and situations that we have out, that's going on. It's more to hear when we're in social media, whether it be TikTok, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, all these different stories. There's so much more happiness in the world that we all can be able to control and help our family members and friends to feel comfortable around us. And as much as if any of you need therapy, and you need therapy for your whole families, reach out to us. Send us your information, and we can get that. We can get you connected to people that can help you to get through what you're going through. We have a comment here from NPN TV again. Therapy is a collective effort. It allows perceptives to be heard. Also, the therapist is afforded the opportunity to make a better assessment of the entire picture. Exactly. And that's why we say, we need family members to also continue to help when you have family members going through any mental issues, any anger issues. It's best for the entire family to request therapy. And they have these. If you're working every day, you have insurance. That's a part of your insurance. Your family can get therapy through your insurance. So reach out to those people, try to help, your family and everyone get better. Charles, I mean, a lot of things, you've gone through, and I have learned, during the course of your rehabilitation as well as my own, that I have learned how to communicate everything that was needed to help you to get where you are today. So I had to learn within myself. First, I had to work on me in order to reach my son. My son went through a traumatic situation, and still now going through his rehabilitation and therapies to get past it. And in doing that right now, as we're sharing with you today, it takes you the strength and courage within yourself to help yourself and listen. Charles started to listen what helped him. He started to listen to these things that he needed. He knew that he was going through something, but he just couldn't break out of the shell. But when he started to listen and wanting, you also got to want change in your life, in order to get it. And I was able to communicate with him also, and communicating with the doctors, making sure that they understand who they're communicating with. You can communicate with your family's doctors. Let them know that other side of where he's coming from, that beautiful smile that you saw every day, even though you see different changes, mood swings, things like that. That's not the person that you're dealing with. You're dealing with a beautiful person, and many of you have a lot going on. DeBrad, I wish you well. Lisa Ray, I wish you well also in getting through what you're going through. Hopefully, you both come to an agreement that is comfortable for you both.
They will.
And, hey, Gregory. So I just want to
Greg,
share
my
with
brother.
and thank
I
all
miss you,
of you
Greg.
for joining in with us. Charles and I, we just try to keep things fun. We're outside. We're here to talk about a lot of different things that
Outside,
we're
but
going
you
through.
ain't that
So,
outside.
yeah, we outside. We outside. We out here. We out here. We from St. Louis, so we say we out here.
Out her. So I think
So yeah.
should I pull a card?
So yeah, so we're gonna pull a card. We don't have much time in front of us. We got
Let's see
probably
how many
about
cards we can pull.
another 7 minutes on the show. So we're gonna pull some cards. This is a little fun time for us to try to have some discussion within our community that's joining us. So Charles, what's that first card you pulled?
Okay, before I pull this card, I wanted to say I tried a lot of situations that I go through. I found it took me to find myself spiritually. I believe in God, Jesus Christ, and that's the person that's who I run to whenever I'm going through something, a situation. And I think that it's very important for us to have someone or something to go back to, something that's higher that we look up to kind of get advice from. But that's what I utilize, and I said that I wasn't going to do it, but I wanted to take some time out. I receive a lot of messages on my social media accounts. A lot of people will send their concerns or different things that they're going through in life. I just want everyone to know that I'm reading your messages, and I'm here, and I put my prayers out to you. I pray for everyone. I read all my messages at this point. There's not too many to read right now, but I read all my messages. So no matter what you're going through, just please keep God first. Stay positive, and it's in the power of life and death lies in the power of your own tongue, and that helped me. That's a word that I go by every single day, because I won't lie. I won't say that it's not a challenge to say the right thing. It's gonna be a challenge every day. Every day, you start over. It's gonna be a challenge. So just kind of be mindful of that, and put that first. But yes, first card. The question is, if your significant other presents you with a prenup before your wedding, would you sign it? Why or why not? Okay, I'll go first, Mom. I'll go first on that. If your significant other presents a prenup
Okay, I
before
can
your
look at that.
wedding,
I could look at that in a lot of different ways. You can look at it in a lot of different ways. It depends on who you're marrying. What are you looking for in that person? Because it
yeah,
depends on the person. Now, you got a prenup and you don't have no reason to have a prenup. It ain't all that. Some people would throw a prenup at people and they don't have very much, but they're trying to protect, just one house.
just in case, I blow up.
I wouldn't sign a prenup if a man only had one house. I would only sign a prenup if he is well off, wealthy, financially set. I would sign a prenup. Reason why I would sign that prenup, because I would look at the relationship with that person far beyond just signing a document. You know,
It goes further than money.
I just look at it that way. You know, far beyond that document, I still love you. You know,
Right.
people are with people for that aren't married. That's been with them 15 years, haven't married the same person they've been with 15 years, and they won't even just sign the marriage certificate. So,
And you know what? A lot of people are with people for the wrong reasons these days. So I think,
yeah,
honestly, I would have something to prove. And, I'd sign all over the sheet, because when it comes to being with someone, I get into a relationship to spend the rest of my life with the person. I don't ever foresee myself breaking up with someone when I'm entering into something like a marriage or even a regular relationship. So I wouldn't have any pushback in that sense, because before we get married, I'm sure that I'll be okay before we even think about getting married. So a prenup wouldn't even be on the table, wouldn't be a big issue for me, because whomever I care about, I know that they'll care about me just as much to make sure I'm okay.
exactly. They're just looking out to protect themselves. I think the people that do have a prenup kind of nervous about the person. They're into the person, but they're a little nervous and skeptical because maybe they've been got before, or taken advantage of. So therefore, they're trying to protect everything they have. Some people have a lot of assets they want to hold on to, and if a marriage ends early or in a few years, then that person is taking half of that. Some people have prenups because of their ancestors. They have very memorable items or antiques or whatever it may be, and a person may take that away, so they have signed a prenup so that they can keep some things close to them. But I think that's one thing that I probably would, I would sign a prenup. I don't have a problem with it. I would just love to have fun with you while we're spending your money. So
Too worried about that.
all
To
right,
enjoying life. Focus on enjoying life. The small things don't even matter. Focus on the most important things in life, and that is smiling and having fun. So I agree with that.
all right, we're gonna pull one more card
One
because
more.
our time is getting short, and Charles and I
Last
can have
one. A few people won't like this one,
we
but I'm
have
going to
our
say it.
because we can
so,
talk.
so this last one, it says, all right, your sex tape just leaked online. What's the first thing you're doing after you find out?
You can wait to pull that card. Go
What's the
on and
first
give
thing
me
you're
your
doing,
comment.
Mama?
Go on. Go on. And anybody out there like, share, and comment on this video. If you have a comment with this question Charles has, please drop your comments down below. Come on,
I
Charles.
want to hear from everybody. I want to hear from everybody. I want to read every single comment. Your sex tape just got leaked online. What's the first thing you're doing after you find out?
Right. I'm gonna let you go first.
It looked like, I can tell that look in your eye, that twinkle. It was like, no, I'm gonna wait until he responds first. Okay. So, what would I do if I ended up in this situation and scenario? I think if this happened to me ever, number one, if I participated in a sex tape, if I knew that the sex tape was being made or created, I won't care, because it'll make me look at that person differently, because hey, if I didn't leak it, then that person must have. So it'll make me look at them differently, but I won't look at myself any differently. It may build me up. It may help me in certain areas where I felt lack of self-esteem or confidence in certain areas. But I think in the long run, I think all things, no matter what happens in life, all things work together for the betterment, as long as you love God, and I love God. So I wouldn't take any situation, no matter what it is. A sex tape, that's small. That's something small to me. But it doesn't matter how big or small a situation is. All things work together for the betterment of my life, because I love God. So something like that wouldn't bother me. And honestly, going forward in my life, something like that won't ever happen to me. Going from this point, I can say, going forward, I can't say in the past I've never made some silly decisions and made some crazy choices. But going forward in my life, something like that, I won't make myself, I won't be so irresponsible to put myself in a situation where something that's big to everyone else will be held against me or anything like that. So I can't see myself in a situation like that anymore going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me give my comment because we only have 1 minute left. So
Okay.
My comment is, if there was a sex tape of me that I found out about on the internet, I'm going straight to the police because somebody has put a bug in my house and we got to find out who it is.
Yeah.
I would never do anything outside of that tape, period. So
That's right.
to the police. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to find out who did it. But anyway, we're thanking everybody for joining us today. We had a wonderful time here.
Remember, be positive, and love everybody.
As I said, like, comment, and share our videos. We'll be here again next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Charles, in closing, what do you have to say?
And sorry. I wanted to make sure that everyone don't forget to be positive. Try to give love, give everybody love, no matter if a person hurt your feelings, if they did something against you to offend you, hurt you, make you cry, anything, it doesn't matter. Just forgive that person. I think that's the most important thing. Forgive. So much is going on in the world right now. I think it's important for us to put our heads together and try to come up with a solution to solve a lot of these problems. And really, they're not huge problems if we all work together. So I think that's the most important thing, is putting God first, putting ourselves first, your happiness first. Remember, happiness starts with you, and you can't get it from nobody else. Okay?
Exactly. Thank you so much, Charles. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
This program was made possible by Neighborhood Planet Broadcasting Systems, Neighborhood Planet Network, and from contributions to NPN TV from viewers like you.